And in Ohio, Governor Kasich has on his desk the right to carry reform bill, which includes restaurant carry. Derek DeBross, the general counsel for Ohioans for Concealed Carry, joins us on the program tonight. And Derek, thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Oh, I appreciate it, Cam. I'm always glad to be on your show.
So I'm guessing since the governor has not yet signed this bill that we are still hearing the hysterical cries in opposition to this piece of legislation there in Ohio?
Yeah, obviously a lot of the big newspapers are publishing a lot of stories of, basically there's going to be blood burning in the streets, so to speak. But as you know and all the listeners know, that is not the case. Most states already have these types of laws on the books.
Yeah, and it hasn't caused a problem. I mean, look, Virginia passed restaurant carry a couple of years ago. Arizona passed restaurant carry a couple of years ago. Tennessee passed restaurant carry last session. And in none of those states, Derek, have there been any problems at
Not
all?
to my knowledge, no, there hasn't.
So what are these newspapers carrying on about?
Oh, just, the same old rhetoric, that they make these arguments and they interview these bartenders that they seek out. That what are they going to have to do, pat down these people now? And really, to me, as an attorney, it's just very illogical. I mean, any criminal can come in there now and cause a disruptance. I mean, what does this change anything?
And that's the thing. It doesn't. But I remember in Tennessee when they were debating this, you had restaurant owners and bar owners in Memphis saying, we're going to have to install metal detectors in our clubs. And I thought to myself, well, why would you do that? I mean, you're talking about right-to-carry holders, people who, have gone through the process of getting a right-to-carry license, and you're going to install metal detectors to, I guess, try to keep those folks out in case they try to pull a fast one on the bar. But right now, people who could be illegally carrying a firearm could stroll right in, and you're not concerned about that?
Well, exactly. I mean, just take the argument to its logical extent. Do you drug tests now for potential drug abusers before they come into your place of business? It just doesn't make any logical sense to me whatsoever.
All right, so now the bill went to Governor Kasich's desk last week, right, on the 15th?
Yeah, I think that's when the Senate and the House did concur and sent the bill upwards.
And Governor Kasich has indicated that he will sign the bill, right?
Yes, I believe the Cleveland Plain Dealer actually was quoting one of his staffers as saying that he would sign the bill.
Okay, I mean, that's good news. Gun owners should still be writing the governor's office, though, and asking the governor to sign the bill. And, look, this is – I find it fascinating, Derek. This is what we see a lot of times in states where pro-gun legislation is passed with a pretty good majority. This was not a close vote. This was not, one or two votes making the difference here. And so the media, engages in this sort of desperate last-minute attack to try to drum up opposition to these bills by frankly scaring their audience.
Right. I mean, that's just it's the same old tactics that they use. And I was actually discussing this with another attorney friend of mine.
Yeah.
The anti-gun lobby, where are they? They don't have people like the NRA or OFCC. All they do is spend their money to try and defeat these pro-gun bills. But the pro-gun lobby has been very strong. Your listeners, their dollars that go toward these organizations, we do get things done, and things, in my belief, that are for the betterment of society.
Well, absolutely. And I think this bill, once it becomes law in Ohio, you'll see the same thing you've seen in every other state that has passed similar legislation. Absolutely no problems, and law-abiding citizens will be able to go into a restaurant where alcohol is served. They'll be able to enjoy dinner with their family. They'll be able to have their firearms secure on their person rather than storing them in their car. And I think this is a good thing all around.
Yeah, and it should be noted to the restaurant owners who are really concerned about it. They can still put up their signs and prohibit gun ownership in their places of business. It's private property; they can do as they please. The bill allows for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Derek, anything else that gun owners in Ohio should know about this legislation if it becomes law?
Oh, there's a bunch of things. It's a very, very good piece of legislation. There's a second bill that was passed regarding restoration. Basically, all that does is people who lost their rights for whatever crime in their history and have reformed themselves. This new law will bring that into line with federal law, because as most gun attorneys know, federal and state law, they really conflict with gun law. So this bill will allow it to be more streamlined and more easily acceptable and accessible to somebody who's reformed their lives. And another big thing, Cam, is car carry. We had one of the most restrictive laws in the country on concealed carry inside of motor vehicles. And this new law, in conjunction with restaurant carry, strikes all those provisions.
All right. That's fantastic, Derek. Thank you again for coming on the program this evening, and I look forward to talking to you again very soon.
All right. I appreciate it, Cam.
Thank you so much. Derek DeBras joining us from Ohioans for Concealed Carry.